y'all, and welcome back, or welcome for this first time to an episode of Being Chisholm. So as you can tell by the title, I got into law school. Yay! So I just really want to quickly talk about my program, what I'm going into, why I chose the school I'm going into, my application process, and all that yada yada. Before I even start this video, go ahead and like this video. The more you like the videos, it helps me out so much. And please go ahead and subscribe if you haven't. I really work hard on these videos, y'all, so I need you to go ahead and subscribe to help your girl out. So the first thing is, how did I choose the University of Illinois in Urbana-Champaign as the school I wanted to go to? I knew I wanted to go to law school. I didn't know exactly what program I wanted to go into. I didn't know what school. I knew that I really wanted to stay in state if I could, but I was trying to weigh the options of possibly going to a historical black college just to get that experience, but I really wasn't for or against where like my location and anything like that. I just wanted to go where I needed to go in order to get a degree, pretty much. Checked out University of Illinois, and I went on a tour there. So after researching it for a while, a couple months later, I got my parents together and we all took a trip down to University of Illinois. We went and visited the school. The people there were like extremely nice. Like some of the nicest people I've ever met in my entire life. It was very like a low-key, it was a big law school, but it was very like intimate. They took care of you. You had your own financial aid office. You had your own people that talked to you about scholarships. Sorry if you hear singing and stuff like that upstairs. That's my family. They're watching some videos of American Idol or something. So I got to sit in on a law class about property law to see if I even liked their law school. They took me on a whole tour of the building. I got to sit in on some other things, talk about financial aid, housing, all this kind of stuff. And I realized, like, wow, this is honestly such a beautiful place. And I did feel like a child. I'm not gonna lie. It felt like I was like a high schooler and everybody else was like 26 and plus. And I was just like this 13-year-old girl just walking around law school. I was very small, and it's kind of a little bit intimidating, but the people there made me feel so comfortable, so I really liked it. After visiting U of I and looking at the other schools, I realized, like, I looked at a school in Pennsylvania and Ohio. I didn't visit there, but just from looking online, I was like, this is just like, this is the school for me. No other school is going to like match what I want, and I wasn't going to settle for a school. So I was like, I'm going to solely apply to U of I, which is kind of scary, only applying to one school. But I was just like, you know, if it's meant to be, it'll be, and if it's not meant to be, obviously I'm meant to go other places. And your question probably is, Ashley, what was your backup plan? I didn't have a backup plan. If I didn't get into law school, yeah, I didn't have anything else. Which is like, people are like, how did you go without having a backup plan? Well, that's just my life. Sometimes you don't need a backup plan. You just gotta have the faith that things will work out in due time, and that's what I had. The program I wanted to go into was for people that do not want to be a lawyer, and that's what a lot of people keep asking me, what, like, oh, are you being a lawyer and stuff like that? What kind of law are you going into? I'm not trying to be a lawyer because I don't want to get killed representing people that don't need to be represented. No, that's not my only reason for not wanting to be a lawyer, but I really just don't want to spend my whole life defending people. That's not something defending wrong people, let's say that. That's not something I want to necessarily do. So I applied for the Master's of Studies in Law program at U of I. Some schools have the same name. Some schools go by law studies. It depends. And it's a master's program, and it's for people that want to incorporate law into what they're already studying but don't necessarily want to be an attorney. And so at U of I, they call theirs the Masters of Studies in Law program. There's about 8 to 10 programs like it in the country, and they're very selective programs. They're small, intimate. They're for people normally who have already been in their career for a while and want to go back to school, do something pertaining to law to kind of up their resume a little bit and build themselves and stuff and become more credible to study certain things, and then they go back to their career. And usually they get their program paid for by their employer and stuff like that. It really depends. But for me, I was very different. I wanted to go into the program right out of undergrad, and that's kind of like not as heard of for that program because it's for older people. So I really had to fight hard to get into the program. So you don't have to take the LSAT, you don't have to take the GRE, which is a blessing, a blessing. They grade you solely off of your resume, your GPA, your personal statement explaining why you want to go into the program and what you plan to do with the degree. So I wanted to make prison documentaries and work on social justice reporting, so that's why that's how I explain myself and stuff. I basically wanted to understand the law and then point out its imperfections in order to show what prisoners go through on a regular basis and stuff like that, and why we need to correct the system. Aside from that, I also had to turn in recommendation letters, and so I had really good recommendations, y'all. I got my recommendations from the president of my university that knew me really well, the vice president of student affairs at my university, my communication law teacher that I was a TA for, and then I could have gotten one from a dean at our school as well, one of my advisors, but it would have been too late of a process, and my news director was going to write one for me as well, but by the time I had already turned in my application is when she told me she could write it, so that's okay. I still got all my recommendations in. So after you go ahead and you turn all of that stuff in and you go through the application process and everything like that, you turn it in. I turned my application in. It's rolling admissions, so I turned mine in mid-January, I want to say, mid or late January, and they go through the first round of applications either late February or early March. So I heard back March 7th. I was in class and I got an email. Didn't know how they were gonna send me like my acceptance or anything if I did get in, or my rejection. So they sent me an email. It said, like, first line, "Dear Ashley, congratulations, I got in." I screamed in the middle of class. It was a great it was great and everything like that. My class like was clapping for me because I screamed out loud like I got in and stuff. So it's pretty awesome, but it's kind of like a nerve-wracking process. So you get an email, it'll tell you if you got in or not. I got in, so mine explained my orientation day, everything I need to look out for, financial aid, how I need to get my living space together, and then attached was also this letter in the mail, and then it says like, "Dear Ashley, congratulations on behalf of the entire Illinois law community. I am delighted to offer you admission to the MSL program at the University of Illinois College of Law. Moreover, in recognition of your exceptional academic and personal accomplishments, we will award you upon matriculation," meaning acceptance, "a scholarship in the amount of $24,750, which is 50% of my tuition." Basically, 99% of students are considered for scholarships, but the scholarships may vary. You may only get like 5,000, or you may only get 2,000 or something, but I got 50% of my tuition taken care of, and that's strictly based off of my academics and involvement at my past university. So the MSL program, it's 1 to 2 years. 1 year if you're full-time, 2 years if you're part-time, obviously. You take the same classes as JD and LLM students. So your first semester you're more with JD students, and then you kind of up it and go onto higher level classes. But all your grades are graded on a curve, because they have like 4 years to get their lives together, or I think it's 4 years, right? 2 to 4 years or whatever to do their program or something like that. But with MSL, they want you in and out. It's a fast-paced law program because it's supposed to be for students that don't need to be there that long. But my goal is I'll be completing the program in 1 year. So in saying that, I am going to law school, but my program is very different from other people, but I am going on scholarship, which is absolutely amazing. I chose a route that's different from a lot of other students, which is kind of scary, kind of cool. I'll be in programs with like 30-something-year-old people or 50-some-year-old people, but yeah, hey, that's life. So I'm really honored that I was chosen straight out of undergrad to go into the program. Moving forward, I'm gonna go figure out my housing down there. I might try to make friends. And yeah, so if you don't know anything about law school, and you've ever been scared of like taking a test to get in, or you don't want to be a lawyer but you're still really into law, I would strongly encourage you to look into this program, see if you like it, and if you're a really good student, if you're really good at with academics or just adjusting to new atmospheres, you may really like this program as well. As always, thank you for watching. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all again for another episode of Be Chisholm. Peace.